And I will ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. There's our flag behind me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We have an exciting night, and we are going to kick it off with swearing in of our newly elected officials. So I think I hand it over to you, Paul, correct?
Yep. So I do have the oaths of office for Dr. Kraus, Mrs. Stroutman, and Mr. Bergansky. There is no protocol as far as how these are done, whether it's a newly elected member or a re-elected member. So if it's okay with everybody, if there's no objection, I'll just do it alphabetically. Is that okay?
Mr.
Okay.
Costello, could you kindly take a roll call first, please?
No, you know what? I read that happens afterwards.
Oh, okay. I know. Thank you. I stand corrected.
That's
Sorry.
okay, no problem. Where's Katie McGrath? There's Katie McGrath. Okay. So, Mr. Bergansky, that would make you up first, sir. Katie, would you prefer us to go over by the...
If you would, please.
Be happy to. Excuse me.
So what we're going to do, we're going to go right in front of the Kenston banner here. You're going to do the oath of office, and then we're going to pose.
Okay. Yeah, I said I do when I got married, so.
That's right. Don't do it again.
Do I need a right hand?
Yeah, absolutely.
Scout.
Scout thing, absolutely. Do you, Dennis Bergansky, solemnly affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as a member of the Board of Education of the Kenston Local School District, located in Geauga County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified?
I will.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Can you do me a favor, sir? When you get a second, would you sign that and please get that back to me, please? Okay. Dr. Kraus, please. Do you, Dr. Beth Kraus, solemnly affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as a member of the Board of Education of the Kenston Local School District, located in Geauga County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified?
Do what I will.
Congratulations. Mrs. Troutman, you're up. Be very careful with it.
Yeah, and I just took my glasses off, so that'll be fine.
Do you, Jennifer Troutman, solemnly affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as a member of the Board of Education of the Kenston Local School District, located in Geauga County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified?
I do know.
Congratulations. You want me out or close? Tell me where you want me to go.
Yeah, because I took my mask off.
Okay.
One, two, three. One more. One, two, three. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Call the roll. We have a board.
We're going to do roll call. Mr. Burganski?
Here.
Mrs. Gaskin?
Here.
Dr. Kraus?
Here.
Mr. Manning? Here. Mrs. Troutman?
Here.
All right. Thank you and congratulations, and on we go. The next item on the agenda, and Paul, I'm going to have you remind us because I get confused about
Certainly.
this regularly.
Right.
Next item is nomination and election of board president. Nominations don't need a second.
And
Oh.
anybody can make a nomination. You can nominate yourself. They do not require a second. A motion and a second to close nominations is what will be required.
Okay, and then a vote.
And then a vote.
Right, and then we do it again for vice president. All right, nominations for board president.
I'll nominate last year's vice president to be president this year, Nancy
All right.
Kenston.
Other nominations?
I'll nominate Beth Kraus.
I move to close nominations.
All right, second.
I'll second.
All right, call the roll to close.
Okay, Mrs. Troutman, this is to close nominations.
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Gaskin?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Burganski?
Yes.
And Dr. Kraus?
Yes. All right, at this roll call, you just say the name of the person that you are voting for, either myself or Nisa.
Correct. Mr. Burganski?
Nancy Gaskin.
Mrs. Gaskin?
Myself.
Dr. Kraus?
Myself.
Mr. Manning?
Beth Kraus.
And Mrs. Troutman?
Nasa Gaskins.
All right. Nisa, I think we trade places. Oh,
I'm sorry.
that is all right. Yeah.
We don't have to.
Would you like to do the oath, or do you want to move to vice, and we can do those
Or
oaths
they're going to.
back to back?
Let's
Sure.
go back to that.
So then we'll start for the vice president nominations.
Correct.
Okay.
We do nominations for vice.
This would be nominations for vice.
I'll make another nomination. I'll nominate Jen Troutman. Somebody going for vice.
Thank you, Dennis.
And I will nominate Tom.
And I will move to close nominations.
Second.
Okay, so I will take a roll call to close nominations. Mrs. Troutman?
I will vote for myself.
No, I'm sorry, this is just to
Oh,
close
Oh,
nominations.
sorry, yes.
That's okay,
Oh, I gave it away.
that's all right. Dr. Kraus?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaskin?
Yes.
Mr. Burganski?
Yes.
Okay, and now when I call your name, I just need you to provide a name for me. Mr. Burganski?
Troutman.
Mrs. Gaskin?
Troutman.
Dr. Kraus?
Manning.
Mr. Manning?
Abstain.
And Mrs. Troutman?
Myself.
Okay,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
so we have Mrs. Gaskins as president, and we have Mrs. Troutman as vice president. Just bear with me a moment. I'll write down some oaths of office for that. Thank you. Katie, same thing? You got it.
Hey, Jennifer.
Yes.
You usually would sit here. Can we switch in between the two meetings?
Sure.
Or you want me to move now?
No, no, that's not necessary. Thank you.
You didn't.
Do you, Nasa Gaskin, solemnly affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as President of the Board of Education of the Kenston Local School District located in Geauga County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified?
I do.
Congratulations. Thank you. Mrs. Troutman, may I see you again, please?
Yes.
All set. Do you, Jennifer Troutman, solemnly affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as Vice President of the Board of Education of the Kenston Local School District located in Geauga County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified?
I do.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I asked everyone to be patient as I try to transition to a new role here. So the next thing on the agenda is the appointment of board committees. And we have several committees. We have Finance, Policy, Evaluation of Superintendent, Evaluation of Treasurer, and Kenston Citizen Advisory. So I guess at this time we'll discuss, and I think I'll start with the new board members and ask what they have interest in and what they would like to, because each board member should be exposed to all the committees and be familiar with everything. So I'll start with them and see what their interests are, and we'll go through everybody and see who we can assign and where we can go. So I will go in alphabetical order. Mr. Burgansky, do you have a pleasure?
I'm interested in everything.
Huh?
But I'm interested in everything,
Oh,
but
you can't. Could you pick like two, maybe?
I would say like maybe, I don't know, finance
Okay.
and, I don't know, with finance, is that usually,
Well, usually if you do finance, usually the finance committee does the evaluation of the treasurer, so those would be a logical combination.
okay.
Would you
I
be
could do
interested in that?
yes. Paul and I get along, will be good.
Jen?
I'll take my training as a lawyer and pick policy and evaluation of superintendent.
Okay. Now, traditionally, in the past, the president obviously is involved in the evaluation of the superintendent. So I think I'll take that second spot on that with you, since we'll be in the leadership, but we will include, it's a group thing of the whole board. Everyone will be involved to be a part of it. So I'm going to assign myself on that with you for the superintendent. Okay, so then we'll go to Beth.
You skipped Tom.
Kraus.
Tom
Okay, I'm
next.
going alphabetical. They did new ones, and I'm going alphabetical.
Oh, okay. I would be happy to stay on Kenston Citizen Advisory Committee.
Okay.
I mean, I think, not to speak for Tom, but I really would like him to stay on finance, so that could round out finance if you're interested, I think.
Tom, you want to be on
They're
finance?
pretty
I
critical.
can do finance. Yep.
Okay. I would like to see a second person on policy, because when we did policy before, when I first did policy, it was Bill and I, and then it was Beth Ward and I, and then I don't know why
I'll
we
do policy.
went down to one, and I think it works well having two.
Yeah, that's funny. I just sort of assumed you would stay on that, but if you don't.
It
Want
doesn't
to-
matter to me. I mean, it's up to you. Would you like to?
Oh, I did it in the past. I could do it again if you are not interested in that role.
I'm interested, but
Well, then you take it and I'll stick with Kenston Citizen Advisory
Okay.
Committee.
okay. And then, Tom, would you be on the evaluation treasurer still?
Yes, I can do that also.
And we need another one for Kenston Citizen Advisory. Any takers? We usually have two.
I mean, since it's since that's the only committee I'm on, I could take it by myself, and if I can't make a meeting or something, I could
We can
phone a
share it
friend.
if you can't, and then
What's
I'll share with
exactly
you.
involved in that, like,
Well, they've been inactive, just secondary to so many other things going on, but we reached out to them to talk about maybe a possible role for that committee is education about school funding and school finance. That was sort of a gap that was identified in that survey that we did. So I just briefly reached out to Corey, literally maybe 2 months ago, and said, hey, I have an idea for KCAC, what do you think? So I think that's a little bit the direction that group's gonna roll. It's a pretty versatile group, so they don't have necessarily a set function that they do. It's sort of like meeting the needs of the district. They're kind of a liaison between the board and the community. So we've used them in a variety of roles over the years. So if you're interested, you
I
could do it.
mean, I might be able to, like you said, if you're not there or something, I could step in, or maybe I could even try it out.
Yeah,
Okay, sure.
Put
I don't
him a
wanna
second.
overextend myself.
Yeah.
Well, Tom and I did it for the last couple years, and we kind of tag teamed.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, sometimes we'd both be at a meeting, but sometimes it would just be one of us, so.
Dennis, I'll put you as a backup, and then if you can, I'll be the
Okay.
third backup, okay? Does that sound good? Let me recap then and make sure we got this correct. So finance will be Dennis and Tom. Policy will be Jen and myself. Superintendent evaluation will be Jen and I. Evaluation treasurer will be Dennis and Tom. And then KCA will be Beth and Dennis. And if Dennis can't, then I would fill in. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Yep.
that's what I have.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to number 5 is the Board of Education appointments. We need to appoint a legislative liaison for the Kenston Board and a student achievement liaison. In the past, I've done the legislative liaison and Tom has done student liaison. If anybody is interested.
Can you tell us a little bit about each of those and what the commitments are, what the role would be of the board member?
Sure, I'll explain legislative and then Tom will do student. I'm the legislative liaison, and through OSBA, they send a lot of communications to you, like via emails, and they monitor all the pieces of legislation that come through that impact a school in any way. And we review them and we report to the staff and to the community legislation that may impact us if we want to have a role in sending out a resolution or supporting it or just monitoring it or reporting it to the community. I know Nancy works very closely with the administration as things pass and the administration implements them, like Senate Bill 1 passed, which was the financial literacy class, and Katie Poe's working on putting that class in place in the curriculum and that. So you just monitor legislation. Also in the past, the legislative liaison has communicated with our senators and reps and coordinated meetings with our administrators and staff with them and brought them to the school, and they've met and they've come to our board meetings. And we've talked about what some of our key issues are. Primarily it's usually financing at the state level. So we've done those communications. Trying to think what else.
If you don't want to stay on it, I'm happy to do it just because I'm used to reading laws. The one thing that I will say, though, is if there is anything that has to do with Medicare or health insurance or HHS, I will step aside because that is
That's
a
fair.
potential conflict for me with my job.
Uh-huh.
And then I would have to ask somebody else to take care of that, like if it's a meeting or something like that. But as far as like reading the legislation, reporting on, I'm happy to do that.
That's what it is.
Unless
You're not
somebody else has,
actually
like, a
getting
burning
action.
desire.
99% of it.
Right, you're just
Okay.
sharing information,
Okay.
sort of condensing it and.
I can
Same.
do it unless somebody else really wants to learn how to read the laws.
It's yours.
Okay.
Okay. Tom,
So same with the student achievement. I can do that again because it's really not time intensive. It's more communications that come our way about different award opportunities for students at the state level
Okay.
and things like that. So it's more stuff that comes to me, and then during a board report, I can report on it
Okay.
as it comes in.
Very good, thank
So,
you.
No required meetings down in Columbus or anything like that, so it's pretty status quo.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the delegate and the alternate for Ohio School Board Association. And I'm sure, Jen, you'll probably ask, what is a delegate? And I've done that in the past, and I think many of the other ones, Beth and them, have done it. The delegate is each school board is allotted one member to the delegate assembly of the Ohio School Board Association. And the delegates determine the policy of the association with a majority vote. And then at the annual meeting that we go to in November, where they have the Capitol Conference, they do resolutions to amend the legislative platform for the association. Like, you have a platform on like, we will support this for teachers, we support this for financing for schools, just a general broad what they support or don't, so that when legislation comes forward, they know whether to oppose it or support it. So each school board has one member, and you're part of that, and you vote on that platform and can make changes to that platform at the annual meeting. You also get the reports of the Credentials Committee, the Executive Director's Report, and selective committees and task force. So the main role there is at that annual meeting, and they'll send you all the documents ahead of time to read that platform, and you can make changes to that at the meeting then. So that's what the delegate is, and the alternate is, if the delegate can't be there, then it would be the backup alternate.
What
And
time
they
of
have that
November
during
is
the
that
meeting.
in?
What's that?
Is that early November or later November?
Early November.
Because late November is deer season,
Isn't it,
because I would be interested.
isn't it the conference that is like right after election?
Correct.
That all the
Yes.
schools go to?
Yes.
It's usually that's beginning on that Sunday that follows.
Yeah, well, so we're gonna be down there anyways, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, you just go to the meeting.
COVID pending and,
Yeah.
but we usually are down there.
Okay.
It usually makes sense too if a legislative person who's been reviewing most of the things falls in that role because it's the platform on their legislation.
I kind of had a feeling you were gonna say that.
So that's why I might be hinting.
Okay, so I'll take that, and you could be the alternate, since you're the other lawyer in the room.
Oh. Well, does anybody else want to be the alternate?
I'm not a lawyer, so,
You don't have to
a lawyer.
be.
I know, it's-
Beth, are you interested?
I could bring my police perspective.
You
No, not
interested in it? No?
No, I've done that too. and
I know.
I'm happy to give somebody else a turn.
Anybody else?
I mean, I could be an alternate to her if she, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
that's fine.
You
Dennis,
come
you could
with
be the
I might go
alternate.
again.
I think it's important that everyone gets a chance to do some of these rules so that everyone has a feel for it. Okay, C is approval of these appointments that we just done in A and B, so I need a motion to approve A and B.
So moved.
Beth has made the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Tom seconded it. Want to do the call?
Be happy to. Dr. Kraus?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mrs. Troutman?
Yes.
Mr. Burgansky?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaskin?
Yes. Okay. Next on the agenda is 6 is our board meeting dates, setting the dates and times for our regular meetings and our special meetings. Our regular meetings are set forth and our special meetings. And then a resolution fixing the order of our meeting. It's the order in which our business is conducted at the board meeting. You'll see it's 1 through 20. And I need a motion to approve that for 6A and B. It's our meeting dates and order of our meeting.
Can I ask one question?
After we make the motion.
So moved.
Beth, is there a second?
I'll second.
Tom, any comments or questions?
I was just curious why the June meeting's so late. They're usually like the second.
The June, if I may I answer that?
Please.
The June meeting's late because it's the year end, it's our fiscal year end. And so in order to get all of the transactions and all of the things that we need to do on the financial end, we try to push it out as late as possible.
All right, I was just curious.
No, it's
That's the
okay.
only one
Yeah,
that was
because
late.
it goes outside of the cycle, yeah.
Okay.
Good question. Lisa, I was talking to Nancy before the meeting, and I
Uh-huh.
think we need a work session sooner than February 7th, so we need to talk about that as a group.
Okay.
I agree.
And we can certainly add that on here if nobody objects to that. I mean, I can
What date are we looking at?
work it right in here.
The 21st.
So we know that the 17th of January is Martin Luther King Day and no school. So if you want to stay on Mondays, we have the 24th or the 31st, but we also have every day between, tomorrow, which is obviously too soon to schedule a meeting, but you can schedule one as soon as Wednesday to all the way up to February 7th. But I think what we're looking at and what we were hoping for in order to put agenda together and so forth, the number of things that we'd like to discuss, the 24th, I think, would be the ideal time. I just don't know if that's available for everybody.
And that's not too late for you guys. That's
I don't-
soon enough.
I don't,
He's not in the room.
I would,
Can you do the 24th? What are we working on?
Roofing and boiler.
Oh.
I'm not ignoring you, I'm sorry, I'm
No,
thinking.
no. I'm letting you think. So if we go the 24th, how does that look to the board?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Tom, are you good?
Yep.
So we'll take February 7th off and make it January 24th?
Well, no, I.
For special meeting?
Want to leave the
You want to
7th
keep
on
them
there?
Yeah, I
both?
think you'd want to.
Okay, so we're going to, under special meetings, add an additional one of January 24th,
Yes,
and then we'll have one February 7th, a work session. So we're adding an additional one there.
yes.
Okay.
I personally think the 24th will work. I can't really speak for Jeremy, but I
We'll
think
do
it
that,
will.
and if we need to clarify at the regular meeting coming up, we can go ahead and
Yeah,
do
we
that.
should
But
do
for
that.
now,
Is this
let's
gonna
put
be
it
a
on the
work session or
24th.
special meeting?
Well,
That would be great.
Same thing. It's a work, it'll be a work
Well,
session, but-
the special meeting, we take action. A work session, we don't take action.
But I think there's technically, like, a work session legally doesn't exist.
Right.
Oh,
They're
okay.
all
They're
special.
all
We just
special,
call
them
anything
special
other than a
meetings.
regular.
That's correct.
yeah.
They're all special meetings.
Okay.
You want to call roll? Any other
Uh,
questions?
So this is a work session on the 24th.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
And if that date doesn't work, we're
No,
gonna
I'm
find
good. I
out once
just wanna
Jeremy
make sure
gets in
what
here,
it
we'll
was.
find out for sure. But I'm
Is he coming
fairly certain
later?
it's okay.
Yes, he'll be at the regular meeting.
Would like me to call roll? Okay. Dr. Kraus?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Burgansky?
Yes.
Mrs. Troutman?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaskins?
Yes. Okay, under 7, legal counsel, we have A, B, C, and we need, under D, a motion to approve A through C on our legal counsel, legal hearings. Do you have a motion? Beth?
Yep.
Second?
I'll second.
Jen? Any questions? Want to call the vote?
Dr. Kraus?
Yes.
Mrs. Troutman?
Yes.
Mr. Burgansky?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaskins?
Yes. Next category is general business. We have A through K.
Mhm.
Someone want to make a motion to approve A through K under general business?
I'll move.
Jen made a motion, second?
Second.
Beth made a second. Would you like to call the roll?
Mrs. Troutman?
Yes.
Dr. Kraus?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Burgansky?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaskins?
Yes. Other business, number 9, we have A through F. Does someone want to make a motion? Beth? The second?
I'll second.
Jen? Any questions? No questions, want to call roll?
Dr. Kraus?
Yes.
Mrs. Troutman?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Burgansky?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaskins?
Yes. Number 10, at adjournment, we are done with this meeting. Does someone want to make a motion to so move?
Move to adjourn.
Beth?
I
Second?
I'll second.
Jen?
All in favor of adjournment on this meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
The organizational meeting is complete.
Is complete. We'll take a break. When's the next one start?